and he was like making a kissing.
Man, we're here in camp. Do you hear that?
Valerie had always been driven by a restless spirit. Traveling, camping, and discovering untouched places was her rhythm in life. But one journey shook her in a way she never expected. She spent the morning wandering through Turkestan, enjoying the scenery before hitching a ride to a secluded area where she planned to set up camp for the night.
Okay, I found a good spot here on the field. I have to be quick now though, because the sun is setting and I don't want to use my light, because then the mosquitoes will bite me.
After finding an open, quiet field, she pitched her tent and prepared for what she hoped would be a calm night under the sky. But peace was the last thing she would experience. Wrapped in her sleeping bag and settling in, strange sounds began drifting from outside the thin walls of her tent.
I had probably slept for 1 hour until I heard a noise. It was the horses coming closer to my tent. Hello. So I opened the door to watch them and welcome them. But then a car approached. There is someone in the car. I hope he doesn't mind me camping here on his ground.
At first, she brushed it off, maybe nearby horses or animals. But then a pair of headlights swept across the fabric of her tent. A vehicle was pulling in. It turned out to be the property owners, a husband and wife. From the start, something about their behavior felt wrong.
What was that? It was so weird. Okay, so obviously these people are the owner of the field and the horses. So they came to check on them and they saw my tent, and I was already watching the horses. So I went outside to speak with them and ask them if it's okay that I sleep here on their field. And we Google Translate for maybe like half an hour and it didn't really work. Maybe they spoke an accent or something. I don't know. Anyways, I couldn't really understand it, but we were passing my phone all the time, and then all of a sudden he switched to photos. I don't know, maybe probably by accident, but he started scrolling through all of my pictures and he was so interested in seeing where I was. And also he really wanted to know what am I doing here.
They asked overly personal questions, insisted on getting her social media, and stood far too close for comfort. Eventually, the couple drove off, and Valerie tried to calm herself down. But around 3 a.m., everything took a terrifying turn. The man returned alone.
I can't believe I just called this man friendly. I'm so disappointed. It's 3 a.m. I heard a noise, someone was saying something. I opened the door of my tent and then he was there again, like very close. And he was like making a kissing gesture. I said, what? I was still like, I didn't understand what was going on because I just woke up, and he really tried to go into my tent. I had to stop him and push him away, and he said, what are you doing? No. Like clearly said, no. And he wouldn't understand, like he wouldn't want to understand. I was like in such a shock because I didn't get why, like what was happening, and I kept saying no, and he wanted to still like come inside.
He lingered outside her tent, behaving strangely, creeping closer and trying to push his way inside. Valerie, shaking, kept telling him to stop, her voice trembling with fear. But he didn't move back. Isolated in a remote field, with nothing but a thin layer of fabric separating her from him, she felt more exposed than ever before. After a tense, agonizing moment, he finally walked away, leaving her paralyzed with fear for the rest of the night. She held onto her camping cutlery as a makeshift weapon and barely slept at all. What was that man planning? She would never know, but the encounter left her deeply rattled, grateful to be alive. In October 2018, an experienced outdoorsman and his father set up camp deep within a remote stretch of forest. Both were seasoned with years of wilderness experience, but around 11:30 p.m., they heard something that neither of them could make sense of.
And we're here in camp. Do you hear that? You think that's a yote? Or a Sasquatch?
A deep, guttural sound drifted between the trees, nothing like any animal call they had ever encountered. Then came a single, forceful knock of wood from somewhere in the darkness. It was loud, intentional, and impossible to ignore. After that, everything went silent. Their recording cut off soon after, leaving only mysteries behind. Was it an unknown creature, a rare animal behavior, or something far more legendary, perhaps even Bigfoot? No one can say for sure. Creepy Outdoors had spent countless nights camping deep in the woods with his dog, Ma. Strange sounds were nothing new to him, but nothing came close to what unfolded this particular night. After choosing a seemingly perfect spot, he built a fire and started to relax. But once the sun disappeared, an eerie tension seemed to seep in from between the trees.
Creepy Outdoors here. By myself camping, as usual. And I'm a little shook up right now because I heard some strange sounds. Stay here, Mika. Stay here. It sounded like some sort of growling. I'm not sure. I wasn't recording. I was just enjoying my night and hello? Shh. It's okay. I'm just talking to my dog right now. What the? Mika, stay here. Stay. Come, stay. Stay. Sit. I have no idea what the hell this is. I'm hoping it's like a bear or something just walking by, but there's these banging sounds on both ends. I'm not. Stay. Okay, well, out of all my camping trip, I've never been this freaked out. I gotta put more wood on the fire. Mika, hey, stay. Mika, come back. What are you doing?
Out there with only
This is
his
not
dog
like him.
beside him, the darkness felt heavier than usual. A wave of fear hit him harder than anything he had ever experienced in the wilderness. He eventually shut off his camera, turning all his attention to simply surviving until morning. Somehow, he and Ma made it through. How? Even he couldn't explain. But the real question remains. What was lurking out there? Watching them in the dead of night. Deep in the forests of British Columbia, a mountain biker set up his phone to film his downhill ride. But the footage ended up capturing something he never expected to see.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey! 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 Hey!
As he reached the base of the hill, a black bear stepped into view. The biker froze instantly, gripping his bike and using it as a barrier. The bear stayed there, sniffing the air, studying him, pacing back and forth for just a little too long. Then, without warning, it charged straight toward his phone. One wrong reaction, one slip of fear, and the situation could have turned deadly in seconds. Daniela spends most of her life outdoors, wandering through forests, exploring hidden trails, and sharing her journeys with her YouTube audience. Her videos are usually filled with quiet landscapes and peaceful escapes. But one night changed the tone of her channel forever. She planned nothing more than a simple overnight camp. The only unusual detail? She chose a forest in Ontario that locals avoid. A place whispered to be haunted by the restless spirit of a man who once hanged himself in a nearby pub. People claimed sudden cold gusts would appear out of nowhere, and an eerie presence always seemed to cling to anyone who entered. And to make matters even more unsettling, she hiked the Bruce Trail on Halloween night. Daniela ventured deep into the trees as daylight faded and eventually found a small clearing to set up her camp. As darkness settled in, the atmosphere shifted. Almost instantly, something felt off. Not long after, strange flickering lights began appearing between the trees.
When I was setting up, a couple of times I saw lights in the woods, and one time it looked like it was coming right at me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got busted. I don't know if it's hikers or if it is the park authorities doing rounds. Either way, they didn't come here to the ruins, they just walked through the path. But you know how it is at night, the light just really goes far. It is definitely getting cold. There is a chill in the air, not just temperature, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I'm more scared of, if it is to see or hear something, or if it is to get busted.
These weren't from hikers, campers, or distant cars. These lights moved unnaturally. A creeping sensation of being watched settled over her, following her like a shadow. Trying to stay composed, she carried on with her routine. But soon, Another sound rippled through the woods, a sound she couldn't explain.
I don't know if those are leaves falling or if it's starting to rain. It is definitely a little bit creepy. Like, I'm not scared, but I'm definitely alert. And when you're by yourself at night in a forest, all the noises get amplified. Every little stir, you wonder what that is. I don't know why this piece of like really thin fabric makes me feel more protected. It's ridiculous. It is 10 p.m. I think it's about time I try to get some sleep. Keep hearing noises outside of the tent. And it's probably just the rustling of the leaves or a raccoon, but I can't stop thinking about the story of William Black and getting his heart broken and taking his own life. What was that? They sounded much closer, not farther in the path. Okay, I'm gonna try to go back to sleep.
Later, she turned off her lantern and tried to sleep, but exhaustion was her only ally. She drifted in and out of uneasy rest, disturbed by distant, haunting screams of wild animals echoing through the night. At first light, she hurried to pack her gear, her thoughts racing, the uneasy feeling still wrapped tightly around her. What were those flickering lights? And who, or what, was circling her tent in the darkness? The soft crunch of footsteps around her camp is something she'll never forget.